And good evening, everyone, and welcome back out to Walk-Ons for another beautiful night. We are here live on MacArthur Drive, Walk-Ons. I am Doug Gann alongside of Will Norris and LaMar Gafford, getting ready to bring you all things Central Louisiana football, and could not have a better environment for it. And my goodness, what a week 6 it was. LaMar, welcome aboard.
Hey, thank y'all so much for having me.
Hey, where'd you go? Make sure that I can hear you. There you go. Yeah, I guess I got you now. LaMar, say something.
Hey.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, got him.
You're soft talking. That's
wow.
That's what he does. There we go. All right, and of course, Will Norris on the side from BWS Sports and covering all things in that Vernon Parish, Beauregard, and Sabine area down there. A lot of great football this week. Let's jump right into the key matchup. What did we have out your way, Will?
Oh, man, the match of the year really was Rose Pine going down to Kinder.
Well, it started out to be that way, but on paper it didn't turn out that way. It looked like Rose Pine really took care of business.
Rose Pine got it going in the second quarter. First quarter, they were held scoreless and then put 28 on the board in the second quarter.
Wow.
And one time they trailed by 8, and from that point on, they went and scored 42 straight. So Coach Ducote made a few adjustments in between the first and second quarter, and those Eagles exploded.
Another big game in the area, LaMar, from right here, was Tioga and Peabody.
And it was pretty much, and as you can see Chuck right here, he's celebrating right now, but look, as you can definitely see.
Hang on, Chuck's going to make his way into the screen, and I told him that he could have a little bit of time on the camera right here. He's got all of his Tioga gear. LaMar, are you catching all of that Tioga gear?
I'm seeing it.
Look, what a great performance it was. Lavallee did a great job.
Yes.
And hold on, this button, see, you know, the show Alice in Wonderland where it says, like, drink me and all this. There's a button on the board that's, wait a minute.
Oh, come on, man.
Is Chuck going?
Got the swag going.
Chuck is going all out. Look, and look, if you're not aware of what, look, he's got,
we got hats too.
all I know is there's a button that says push me, so I've got to push this button too.
Hey,
hold on now, don't go anywhere.
Everybody say,
chop it up, Chuck.
See, all right, look, that's good stuff. So just to remind everybody why this all happened, it was unanimous in our selections last week as we all picked Peabody to beat Tioga, and unanimous from us three. Yeah, Chuck walked out on us twice because of what we did. But look, I'm loving the Tioga hats, and we'll leave that up here too. But you were at that game, LaMar.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, it was pretty much a battle between Gabe Sellers and Arthur Lavallee. Arthur Lavallee, in a losing effort, had 295 yards and 4 touchdowns, but Gabe Sellers ran for 5 touchdowns. Yes, that is correct. He ran for 5 touchdowns in that ball game.
Man.
And that's kind of a coming out party for Gabe Sellers too. I don't think the Tioga offense had put up a lot of numbers throughout the early part of the season, but really came out big in that one.
Yeah, I think in the first half of the season, I mean, I don't think they had a game where they scored. Well, they did have one where they scored 20 points, and then they came up, had 38 against Peabody, and that was a big one there for them. And it was nice to see them kind of move the ball pretty well. Last week, he had 225 passing yards, and so now is he starting to get more comfortable as it is on the center. And now, like you said, just ran for 5 touchdowns there, so he's starting to get control of the offense.
Talked to defensive coordinator John Mooter about that and what that offense from Peabody presented, and he said, look, it's just one adjustment after another that you had to make, but you had to keep your eyes on Arthur 4 times. Great performance. He said it was something that they need to see, and it was good for them to have, and it was great to come out of there and go 1-0 in district for Tioga.
And absolutely, and I got a chance to talk to Coach Cook after the game, and he was like, he heaped a lot of praise on Arthur. He was also saying, I'm glad that we don't have to worry about him anymore because he's a senior, but he was glad. He said he was as good as advertised, and he definitely continues to show it.
Well, that's the 2 key games that were in this area. Ash, of course, goes up to West Monroe and did not turn out how we had hoped for Central Louisiana in this thing, as they lose 28-14 to West Monroe, who must have had a chip on their shoulder after everyone telling them that they were down this season.
They took it personally, like
sophomore
Michael Jordan.
Hayden Federico came out and was throwing the ball threw the ball, had to be 45 yards in the air, had a 65-yard touchdown pass. And that's normally, if you get that from West Monroe, it's been a pass that's thrown at or near the line of scrimmage, and it's yards after catch. But this was 40-plus yards in the air from the sophomore quarterback for West Monroe. They're going to be good for the next little while too. So don't write West Monroe off in this season at all. Ruston takes care of business over at Pineville. They do that, and so that's really the local teams that are around here. Grant, you told us about Grant, and they had an unfortunate loss to Marksville, but an unfortunate loss on their roster as well.
Yeah, Brady Parker, he got hurt in week 4 with an ACL injury, so that was kind of unfortunate. They were able to win their game in week 5 without him,
right?
But now Eli Morrison, they kind of shuffle around here, so he was their wide receiver. They had to put him out there at quarterback just to kind of give him some space a little bit, but tough loss there for the Grant Cougars.
Speaking of coming back after a quarterback not being there, of course, we know that Ethan Fry was not in the game 2 weeks ago when they lost that game. Came back in and went back to work in the game of the week in that area that we talked about.
Oh, yeah, he come in, stepped up big. Second quarter, like we said, they went in scoreless. He started running the ball, ended up with 86 yards rushing, and then passing. He had 160 and 3 TDs. But the backbreaker, Rosebond got the ball back, I think, with 47 seconds to go. Coach Ducote had a lead. And instead of kneeling on it and running out the half, they attacked it with timeouts. And then right at the final horn of the second quarter, Ethan threw a bullet to Aiden Klein for a touchdown. Then when they come out in the third quarter, Grant Ducote went 67 yards to the house, first play of the game. So you talk about breaking Kinder's back.
They Belichicked them.
Right there, man. You got them on both sides of the half. And then at that point in time, in my opinion, the game was over from then on. And Grant Ducote with a great performance puts him over 1,000 yards for the season. He had 268 and 3 touchdowns, and it's his third time over 1,000 yards, and he's got 19 touchdowns in 6 games this year.
What a performance by there. Another one of the big games in the area, Manny. They put up 50 on Winfield and give up 0. One of the things now we bring up Manny, of course we bring up Leesville. They've got a big game coming up this week as well. But we have our video conferencing set up, and we're going to be able to, via Zoom, interview Coach Robbie Causey of Leesville, and we're also going to, I believe, talk to head coach Jess Curtis of Manny tonight. That's coming up at 6:45 with Coach Causey, and then at 7:10 with Coach Curtis. So you'll want to stick around for that, and that's going to be able to allow these teams to get up this way without really getting up this way. Pickering and Vinton, you said Pickering, it was their shot at maybe getting their victory one victory for the year, and that didn't go so well.
No, it really didn't. I mean, you could just kind of hope and pray that they would have a shot. It was 41-0 at halftime. Marlon Freeney, who actually left right before we went on air, they're watching us in the car, so thanks for tuning in. He basically had about 100 yards rushing and did all he can. I mean, he's running for his life on every play. They got beat 54-8 against Vinton. Now they go this week to DeQuincy, which DeQuincy beat Oakdale 40-10, and then Vinton will travel to Rosepine this week. And Vinton's not going to be at Pickering this week. They're going to have their hands full.
Yeah, absolutely they will. And I think that was the first win of the season, or second win of the season for Vinton of the season. DeRitter goes out to Buckeye, and they handle Buckeye in that one, 34-0.
Yeah, another good win. We talked about it last week. They've been playing over on this side. Got the win at Marksville. They come back this week and go and get the win at Buckeye and actually shut them out. So another kid that don't get a lot of attention even over our way is Ronnie Crosby. 23 carries for 200 yards, his second straight 200-yard game. And if you're Coach Parmley, you got to love that headed into district. Travis Castile had 93 yards and a touchdown, and Riker Stewart, the new quarterback, everybody in that district has a new quarterback, had a good long touchdown pass, a touchdown catch from Emmett Goins. So those kids, Dritter's getting it going on, and they're my surprise team really over on our side.
Well, there you have it. Again, another one of those that's in that Tioga, Leesville, Peabody district that will come out of there. My Panthers, man, I thought they were going to win 2 in a row on there. I did not pick them this week, but I am very shocked at the outcome of that one. 40-34 loss to East Bow.
Oh, dogfight. Anytime you got those two teams playing, regardless of the records and the rankings, it's always a battle. Coach Simmons texted me that night. I said, man, great win. But if you're Coach Simmons, you're glad to come out of there with a 40-34 win. But more importantly, East Beauregard remains undefeated in district, so that's huge for them. This week they'll be taking on Basile, who beat Elton 42-13. But a kid me and LaMar talked about last week, Kane Atkinson, 21 carries, 164 and a touchdown. Caleb Johnson had a touchdown receiving and rushing. He combined for around 100 yards. And then on the Maryville side, Cameron Williams still chipping away over 4,000 yards in his career. He had 165. Marion Hill and Dakota Thompson both with rushing touchdowns. And then something I like to see from Maryville right now, Remington Cootie had 80 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, and Caleb Lewis received both of those touchdown passes. But if Maryville opens up the offense, that's going to free up Cameron, and then they go play at Gaydon, which is another winnable game for your Panthers.
We'll do that. Look here, the honorary mayor of Maryville is supporting that. We'll have a pick on that game before the night is out. One of those crossover games, LaMar, was Leesville and Bolton. Bolton continues to struggle on the win and loss side of it, but ran into a buzzsaw with Leesville.
Yeah, Leesville 42-6 win in that one. Getting a chance, I think, from what I heard, Parker Max, 3 touchdown passes. I think Kamari Pruitt, Davion Grubb had 3 touchdown receptions in that game, 227 yards. But Frank Ford, the one I was really impressed by, 27 tackles in that ball game.
27 for the season.
No.
In that game.
In that game.
Wow. That's a cookie cake waiting to happen right there.
Here we go. Back to our team. So the guy that picked him was the Defensive Player of the Year on the Alverno Parish team. Obviously recognized his talent.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a dagger being thrown here among these two guys.
We're throwing it out. We're throwing it out.
No.
Because we were in agreement then and we're in agreement now.
That's what I like to see. There you go. It's feeling. I can't believe we're halfway through this season already, working on week 7 as we go in the playoffs starting to get near. We're going to take our break. Coming up out of the break, we're going to visit with head coach of the Leesville Wampus Cats, Robbie Causey. I've got to let this take us to the break, though. I'm sorry that I have to. And this is my alma mater now, mind you, so this runs deep with me. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be back with Leesville head coach Robbie Causey right out of the break. We'll be back to Game on CENLA.
The fine folks at BK. Now.
The following things are just plain wrong. Pouring coffee in.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
From the second you step in our front door, we work with each client individually. their unique lifestyles and their wishes and their needs. When we search through properties for you, it's more than just a number of bedrooms or zip code. It's about your life, and that's what's important to us. We work with you until we find that home of your dreams. When we do find that perfect home, we walk you through the process from the first step, making the offer, all the way through until closing day, and we hand over those keys. Let the Trish LaMar Group go to work for you, and let us help you find that dream home.
And we're back live to walk-ons, anticipating the joiner of Coach Robbie Causey. We expect him to be checking in with us momentarily. We'll have to resend him the link, Chuck. It looks like he says that it's invalid as it's coming up. So some other games that are coming up around the week, that LaMar, that you're looking at this coming week. Of course, the big one Thursday night.
Going to be between Vols and Manny. That game will be at Manny. Huge one for not just only the status of District 3 2A, but also to see who's probably going to be near the top of there in 2A. I think Vols right now is number 2. Manny's number. I think Vols is number 2. Manny is number 3. So this is a big game for PowerPoints.
It's an incredible one, and one that it transcends both of you guys, of course. And we'll talk to head coach Jess Curtis tonight about this matchup that's coming up. But that just a huge game. And what's the opportunity that all of Vols can go in there and hang in and get this? And granted, it's in Vols' mind, it's not going to be an upset, right. But in realistically. You look at it, you expect Manny to win this game unless you're from the parish.
Exactly. But see, the thing is here, it's just that style of offense that Vols plays. If they can play mistake-free, and I think they got themselves a very good defense this year, but if they can play mistake-free, not turn over the ball, and get long drives with their offense, of course, convert fourth downs, and at least get to the other side of the field here and flip field position, they have probably as good a chance as anything. Well,
you talk about field position and that when they come out and they'll be onside kicking and they'll be doing their thing from there. What if Manny starts getting these onside kicks and playing in the plus side of the field all night, and I know that I know that Coach Andy Boone's not ever going to go away from that strategy on there too, but you can't really continue to give Manny a short field all night if you're going via the onside kicks and such, or do you just stick with your game plan?
Well, if that's the case, it may be up in the 80s each. Both teams come in scoring almost 300 points on the season, and I think it's going to be the Vols has got to steal a possession, whether it's a turnover, an onside kick, or whatever. They have got to do something to get that extra possession, and then they got to capitalize on it, because right now, if you're the Vols Mustangs headed in there, you believe you can win. But London Williams, again, this week, he had 4 more touchdowns. Jeremiah James punched in 2. London has got 22 on the season and over 1,000 yards. And right now, that's the game that I may be at Leesville and DeRidder, but at halftime, if it's either kind of a big lead there, I'll make the 20-minute trip to Manny.
Look, and I think, LaMar, you're going to make that visit over there on Thursday night, or what are you going to?
I will say thank you, God, to the schedule makers for pushing Ash and Pineville to Thursday so I can make this game, because I think this is going to be one of the biggest ones, not just this week but also this year.
Manny's had a lot of big games in their area. It's been, through the years, they've had big ones. Of course, that season opening one, and we'll talk about that some tonight. But, man, this is as big a stage, I believe, as that a Vols team has been on in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember when's the latest stage that they've had here. I think as far as the regular season, this is probably one of the biggest games that they've had, and especially for a team that has a lot of hopes of trying to get past that second round. That's going to be one of the big things for them in order to try to do this. If they can win this game, that really helps them out as far as getting a very good seed and as far as like setting themselves up and possibly getting themselves a good seed in the playoffs.
There you go. I think finally we're going to get this thing worked out. We're looking at going to get him to start his
there
video.
He is.
Look.
Hey, well worth the wait, baby.
There we are. We're sitting at Coach Robbie Causey, head coach of the Leesville Wampus Cats. Coach, and welcome to the show. We're having trouble with the volume on him, Chuck. Make sure is your mic on, Coach? Hang on just a second. We're looking at your microphone setup. You're looking good, Coach. I don't hear you, but you're looking good. So hang in there with us. You'll be able to hear us just a little bit better in just a second.
Hold on, Coach.
We're getting you. Hang on, we're having trouble with the volume side of it, Coach. And look, this worked. All this, don't you love it when things work in pregame and don't work during the game? That's what.
Sometimes you got to call it audible.
Right, and so we're doing it. It looks like he's able to hear us, Coach. We're just unable to hear you. Can you turn the volume up on your phone?
Or just look at the mic button.
He's underground at the Wampadome. Is that?
Yeah, that's the tunnel that goes underneath the field.
Dude, this is. I feel like we're in the underworkings of something. Working to get Coach Robbie Causey on with us. Coach, check your phone if you can and see if the volume is up on it and see if your microphone is up on the Zoom. Working to get that connected back in. We'll see.
Yeah, we can see him finally. It's 6 weeks to see him. Now we need to hear him.
Right. All right, we're going to get – Coach, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. Okay,
all right.
There's a thumbs up. We've just got to get his volume back in here, which I think that we're going to work on getting that. Chuck, our executive producer, is on that. See, I think I heard something there, but we lost the video of him too, Chuck. He's back. Go. Coach, can you say?
There we go. We got you.
I don't know what's better, seeing him and not hearing him or hearing him and not seeing him.
Oh, you got to see him.
But we've got both of them now. Coach Robbie Causey, certainly welcome to the show.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Coach, our first guest, and I'll start with the best, baby. You know how I roll. Me and you left the fair last.
He didn't show up, so
I wasn't going to say that. I waited on you. But we were talking about the Wampus Cats' big win. You guys come over and handle business at Bolton like you should, starting off district.
Well, our kids played well. In Bolton, the little offensive scheme here is just defense. You got to work your run defense, and I thought we handled that well, but they hurt us in the passing game a little bit. But our kids responded, and we had some injuries, and we had to overcome some stuff. But that's football. You know, we don't. You just got to adjust week to week what you got and get your kids to play hard, and hopefully they play hard for one another.
Coach, I saw one big stat line from you guys, and that was Frank Ford. He had 27 tackles. What did he have for breakfast? That's what I want to know.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. As long as he has 27 tackles, I don't care what he eats. Quite honestly, I guess he didn't eat. Quite honestly, with 27 tackles, maybe he was just hungry. So I got to thank his daddy for not feeding him all the day long.
Well, Coach, this week you head into the 100th meeting with the Dritter Dragons, and we know records and rankings don't mean nothing. Coach Parmley's got the Dragons on a winning streak, and they're headed in the Wampadome this Friday night.
Oh, isn't that awesome, the 100th meeting? Just to be a part of history. You know, there's been a lot of great guys that have come here before me that have coached in Leesville. You know, they've been playing since the early 1900s, over 100 years of football. And, you know, just to be a part of the history of Leesville football is quite an honor. And to be a part of the 100th meeting of the Leesville and DeRidder rivalry, it's an honor. I'm just tickled to death that, you know, just to be a part of it. It's a quality game. Coach Parmley and his guys do a phenomenal job. They are going to punch you in the mouth on offense and play the physical defense.
Coach, I want to ask
so the challenge is
I want to ask you a question about another one of the traditions there, and that's the motorcycles on the field before the game. Is that something you guys? What was the origin of that, and how'd that come about?
I stole it like every other have. You know, it's nothing original. You can package it, but you stole your ideas in this profession from somebody else. I went to Manny when I was in public school. I would go watch area football games. I went to watch Manny play my alma mater, Winfield, one time, and they had that end zone, and I thought it would be a great thing to do here with the different motorcycle clubs we have in the area, to be a part of it, a way to connect to the community. And I thought it was a pretty neat idea. So we just kind of copied it when I became the head coach in 2016. That's one of the things that I wanted to see if we could do each week.
You know, tradition and history runs through, and again, we talk about the 100th meeting that you guys are going to have with the football time. Friday Night Lights originates all over the country, but it shines in times like and in places like Leesville. And I know just getting the kids excited about this, there's no difficulty in that. But how about the support for the community? It's always been so solid.
Well, it's what makes small communities, I think, a big deal. I think it what makes them great to live in is when they get behind their school athletics, whether, you know, it's basketball, soccer, baseball, track and field, cross country, doesn't matter. You know, we just happen, you know, football's playing here now, and just want the community to get involved in the school and be a part of something like this. They get excited. It gives them buy-in. They're excited about the school. You know, the school runs better with football programs having success. You know, discipline's better, academic soars when your football team's having success. And to me, it just adds to the overall environment of your school and your community. And, you know, this week is to us, our approach is no different than any other week. You know, a lot of people say it's a rival game and get up, but, you know, every week's tough. I think it's you respect your opponents. That's the thing that you should do, is everybody, every coach, every kid is doing the same things you're doing, and there should be mutual respect between the programs of those guys are working just as hard as you. And so we try to take the same approach week in and week out. That way, when a big game does come along, we've already prepared for that game in our preparation. So hopefully this is something our kids have caught on to, is that this is no different than what we prepared for week one, is we have a mutual respect for our opponent, and we're trying to get better at the things that we're doing.
Well, Coach, what about Parker Max, our new first-year quarterback? I mean, he's come in, did a phenomenal job for you. Coach Scoggins has got all kind of offensive weapons, but just talk about Parker's growth from you didn't have a scrimmage, but from early on up to now.
Well, you know, each week is a learning experience for him. He's a first-year player. He's, you know, doesn't have a lot of background in the offensive scheme other than playing freshman and JV football. This is his first test of Live 5 this year, and, you know, he's playing well. Each week he gets a little bit better. You know, all of us, including myself, we get a little bit better. So, you know, he's moving right along with the rest of us. You know, he's doing what we asked him to do. You know, manage the team, manage the game, protect the football, and everything else will take care of itself. And he's doing a good job at it. You know, Coach Scoggins does a great job with quarterbacks. You know, I call him the coach of QB1 around here. You know, he's got the Midas touch, and anybody that, you know, lines up in the shotgun under center, he does a phenomenal job.
You know, and I want to talk about another guy who's actually catching the ball pretty well, Davion Grubb. I mean, he's, you know, he had himself a big game against Bolden. From what I understand, I know he missed all of last year, but how has he, you know, continue to progress and really starting to take a leadership role as a senior?
He's very confident, you know, you can tell the way that he plays. You know, any ball that's up in the air, he believes that it's his football. He's stingy. I think a lot of that comes from playing free safety on defense in his younger years of sports and playing football. So any ball thrown up in the air, you know, he knows how to get his body in position to make the play. He does a really good job on the deep ball. He's sure-handed on the short passing game, and he runs good routes. You know, he's a coachable kid. He's come a long way, you know, in understanding where he fits on offense. You know, he's had to be a quick study because we knew that we would have to have kids playing both sides of the ball. So he's doing really well. We're really proud of him.
Coach, we appreciate you taking this time to join us on Game on CENLA. We're trying to highlight your area over there, that Vernon, that Sabine, that Beauregard. But I don't want to let you out of here before. See, Will knows everything about everything down in your area. And so we saw a picture of the big birthday cookie cake that you got. So we want to just express our birthday wishes to you. I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but happy birthday to you.
I'll take care of him.
Well, I'm belated. I guess Amazon lost my present from you guys. I'll be waiting on it.
We have that coming. Did you not bring it to him?
No, I brought him the cake and kept the present.
Coach, we'll do better at it. We'll do that. Good luck to you this Friday night. I know it's going to be an amazing atmosphere on there. You're going to be at the 100th meeting. What do you guys have planned for the 150th meeting? Now,
I don't know. I won't be there. So that's something at my age. I don't have to worry about planning that one. I got enough worries trying to figure out how we're going to play well against a DeRitter team that's, it's a really good football team. So I'll let somebody down the line worry about the 150. I'm just trying to survive the 100.
So you're announcing your retirement now. You're not going to make it for season 150.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's sooner than later, I can promise you. It's sooner than later.
It'll be before that. Leesville head coach Robbie Causey. Thank you, Coach, so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again later in the season.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you,
sir.
Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all. Go Cats.
Head coach Robbie Causey, and the instant soundbite. There's never an option for needing to get field material when Robbie Causey's on the mic.
Oh, absolutely. We've always had this joke here. We can ask him one question. He'll be on for 5 minutes. We can get some coffee going and all that stuff. And next thing you know, it's not over until he says to go Cats.
Once he says go Cats,
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Wow, did you get the little tour that we were able to take inside the Wampa Dome?
Well, he was actually in the field house, and he told me, he said, I can come on with y'all. And I said, well, just do it, Coach. I don't care where you're at.
Right, it doesn't matter to me. So another person that you really don't have to nudge to start talking is going to join us around 7:10 tonight. That is the head coach of the Manny Tigers, Jess Curtis. And to say they got a big one coming up is an understatement. LaMar, we might even have to get the counter side of that up. If you could send a message over to head coach Andy Boone, we might get that, send him the link and get the other side of that out of there. This is what this show is about, putting these coaches to get, they're not going to be together by any means on there, but we'll get the Manny approach to it, and we'll get the Avoyelles approach to it. Chuck can send you the link to that, LaMar, and we'll do all of that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get things set up. I'm running Chuck ragged over there, so we're going to take a 2-minute break, Chuck, if you want to set that up, and then we're going to work on getting head coach Jess Curtis. What a great bringing all this swag out here.
And when we won't pick against the Indians again.
Hold that thought, because Leesville Tioga's coming up at the end of the year. So be careful where you go with that one. We're going to take a break. This is Game on CENLA. We're live at Walk-Ons. We'll be right back.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
The fine folks at BK Distributors want to thank all the educators for weathering the storms, so to speak, through 2020 and beyond. Thank you for your dedication to our children. The end of the school year awards are now available. Any type of award, trophies, banners, plaques, they do it all at BK Distributors. So with school almost out, that means summer leagues are in full swing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Security Sporting Goods wants to tell you all camo is 50% off, and it's fishing season. In the red corner, it's Powerhouse Combo, Zoom, and Lose. And in the blue corner, seasoned veteran Abu Garcia. These 3 name brands will take care of all your fishing needs. Plus, Old Town Kayaks are coming soon. Need a handgun? In stock, Springfield, Sig, Glock, and Smith & Wesson at Security Sporting Goods, 2220 Memorial Drive, Alexandria.
And we're back to walk-ons. It is Game on CENLA. I'm going to turn these headphones down just a little bit. That was getting after it. So
in spite of what Coach Causey said, I want you to clarify. He was guest #1. We didn't get to have to counsel on somebody and get him. I know he enjoys giving me heck, but he was our first guest.
He was our first. He was, yes, he started things off for us. He got things rolling on there. Yeah, yes, it was. Head coach Robbie Causey. And it was only 6 weeks late, us getting it started. But we've got it now nonetheless. And look at what that did. I'm going to move that cup out of the way because that was covering Will up on when we did the Zoom call. So I didn't want him to not be able to see you on that. But we appreciate the folks at Walk On. So just added to the schedule now to, we've got Jess Curtis coming up, just added to the schedule in that big Manny Avoyles game. We're going to get an opportunity to talk to head coach Andy Boone tonight of Avoyles, and so love the ability to get these things going. That's going to be an awesome night.
Do you have tape delay? No, I'm kidding.
Everything is saved, and you're able to
you can go back and watch it. Doug set the parameters on night one, so they should know.
So yeah, they've got everything set up. Just to appreciate everyone that's tuning in and that'll go back and watch these. We've had a number of views on there. If you're watching for the first time, go up there and hit the like and the follow button. We appreciate that. If you've not checked out BWS Sports, go over there and do that. My man Will does a fantastic job. Of course, LaMar Gafford does everything well with the sports coverage here in central Louisiana, and so looking to continue to bring that to you. Coming up in the next couple of minutes, we'll have Coach Jess Curtis on via Zoom, and we'll talk to them. Will, if you want to go ahead and get him set up, we can do that. LaMar, so you're going to have Thursday night, you'll have Pineville at Ash, and then Friday night you're going to hit this big game that we're getting ready to spend some time talking about, Manny or Avoyles at Manny.
Yeah, absolutely, and getting the chance to go up there to Manny is always a great atmosphere, especially when they shoot the fireworks, the tailgate before the game. So it's going to be a raucous atmosphere, I figure.
So you're going to go down around noon? Is that when?
Maybe.
Maybe so. All right, we're just a couple of minutes away from Manny head coach Jess Curtis. He's going to join us. We're going to get someone to sponsor that Zoom line, so that way they can be brought to you by the Zoom line. Also coming up, we're going to look at how our top 10 fared from all of the different divisions. That 5A is going to have sports writers. I mean, Ash was ranked, 5th or 6th in there?
Yeah.
Do you move West Monroe? Do they fall all the way out of the top 10?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens because the 5A is really tough. For example, and it's just going to be interesting to see where do you put the Trojans in there. I feel like that they still should be a top 10 team, but I don't see anybody else that you could move up other than Ruston, because Ruston's been on the outside looking in, and they need to be right there, I feel like.
And West Monroe, I think, dropped out of the top 10 rankings for the first time. So they were sitting there at 11, but who do you –
Exactly. So who do you take out? That's going to be the big question. And also you got teams like Natchitoches Central on the outside looking in, still 6-0, leading up to their big game.
Talked to Coach Brown last night, the defensive coordinator for Natchitoches Central. So spent some time visiting with him, and he's excited about the matchup. Of course, looking forward to that big game with Captain Shreve coming up this weekend. And so, again, that's another one, something's got to give in that one, 2 undefeated teams.
Yeah, exactly here. And I unlike the last one, I don't have any conflict of interest on both sides because obviously – other than the Bird game, where that's my alma mater, Shreve is my hated rival, and you can kind of already figure out which way I'm going to go on that one.
Well, we are sitting here now and joined via Zoom by head coach of the Manny Tigers, Jess Curtis.
Clean shaven.
Coach, welcome aboard.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Look, are you out there? You working the guys out? Are y'all practicing tonight?
We're watching film, man. We're still breaking it down right now. I got some great coaches that love to watch film and make a good game plan every week.
Coach, ever since that week 1 event, it looked like that just aggravated you guys, and you've been rolling through the competition since then.
You know what? You never want to take a loss, but that loss really got us right. Went undefeated last year, and sometimes you need to taste the sting of defeat every now and then to get 100% focused and locked in, and we played some good football since that week 1 game.
Indeed, you have. The running of London Williams has really stood out. The running of your entire program has just been solid. And you've got one of the better defenders in the state as well. I guess he's playing both sides of it, Tackett Curtis. It's a great time to be this Manny Tackett. And Will keeps telling us that you guys are set for a three-peat. So he's jumping through this year already, giving you that one. And
you got to get 2 first.
It's just Will Norris being Will Norris, Coach.
Yeah.
He knows I'm a Manny man.
we're just trying to take care of this year. But he's right in the sense that this is our smallest senior class we've had in a while. We're going to get most of these guys back next year. Don't lose a whole lot. So, we just want to keep building the program, keep doing what we do. Let's take it one game at a time, because every week we're playing somebody, and it's like they're gunning for us. It's circled on the schedule, and we're learning how to handle that a little better. This week we got a Vols team playing good football, and I'm sure we're circled in red marker about 10 times on their schedule. And so, we got to be ready.
That's why actually I was just about to mention here, and I know this is a huge game here. So for anybody that hasn't gotten the chance to go out to Manny and see the atmosphere out there, how would you describe it there?
It's a great happening every week. People start tailgating about 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're cooking something down there. The tailgater smells good all day at school. The smoke's rolling out of those pits, and the fireworks, and just fans expecting us to go out and play Manny football. And this week will be another test. Our schedule's been tough. We play a lot of peers in the state. Our community is totally bought in, and so that makes for fun every Friday night at 7 o'clock at Manny.
Coach, you're preparing for the offense of Avoyelles. You're preparing for the defense of Avoyelles. How do you prepare for the intangibles, knowing that what Coach Andy Boone and that Avoyelles teams brings over with the way that they play?
Oh, yeah, he does a great job. Andy Boone has done a great job at Avoyelles. Play a different style of football. You have to be ready for, onside kicks, and we just try to spin that to our guys. If we get that ball on the 50-yard line, and so our kids are really zeroed in on making sure they take care of special teams and do their job. Andy's done a great job of bringing toughness to that program, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to run the football. And he's excited about this game, and their team is, and their program, and they should be. They've had a great start to the season, and it's going to be a great football game. 4 quarters of physical football.
Well, Coach, after your second shutout of the season, it seems like the defense is just playing on all cylinders right now as well.
They are, and that's, we returned a good bit of them. We had to replace a couple of D linemen, but most of that group was sophomores last year, and one of them was a freshman in Thailand. Just a good group, man. They gotten better each week, and they were really ready to come out last week. They weren't happy with some missed tackles and stuff the previous week, and that's what's so cool about this group is they want to be good every week, and they really felt like they gave up some points they shouldn't have the week before, so they came out to prove a point. And it's just fun as heck to coach guys like that, man.
I can't get out of here without asking this question, but how is it like coaching your nephew Tackett out there, because he's just been amazing?
Oh, he's a great kid, man. Matter of fact, he's up there lifting right now. People go chase him out of the dang weight room.
I can imagine.
He eats, breathes, and sleeps football. It's what he loves to do, and he loves his program. And he grew up watching it, and now he's a part of it. And he's just been a blast to coach him. And for him to be blooded, it's been even more special to watch him grow as a football player. And he's playing some real good football, but, he's going to be an even better player by the time he takes his last snaps.
Coach, the story of Tackett and the legend of Tackett and playing all the different positions that he does, there was a rumor that he threw a touchdown pass to himself the other week. I don't know if that's
No, it's kind of funny to watch him play. We just want a leader at that quarterback position and an athlete type, and he's that. Some of his plays this year have been crazy. We'll have a snap that's snapped early and nobody moves on offense. And he just wants to win and compete and do his job. And he knows his job in our offense is to lead them, hand that ball off to London and Jeremiah and make a couple big throws. He can spin it. He's all in. And you get in a tough game, you want somebody in that thing, and that huddle is going to tell people, hey, let's go. And you want somebody they all can look at and believe in, and that's why he's helping us on that side as well.
Coach, one follow-up question on what you talked about earlier, the Tackett growing up there, and now it's his turn to play. How is it when you see the kids growing up and what their goal is? They want to play Manny Tiger football at an early age coming up. They want to wear the red and black.
That's a great question because we practice, and then after we get off practice field, we have a Pop Warner group that comes, and those kids' eyes are wide-eyed. I can remember when I was a kid, seeing those high school players, and it's just our kids don't take that lightly. They know, it's their time, and they try to put a good example for those young kids. But you see that a lot.
Looks like we lost Coach Jess right there.
Might have been the school.
Might have been. Yeah, it looks like we lost head coach Jess Curtis there. We will see if we can get him back. If not, and excited to talk to him, excited that we're able to do it, and that those guys are working hard, getting ready. We're going to be able to talk to head coach Andy Boone coming up as well. I believe. Look, we're getting Jess back, and we'll finish up with him as soon as we get him back in here.
There
Coach, thank you. We lost you for a moment, but thank you for calling back in.
But Coach, we talk.
Sorry, Andy Boone must have cut my
it's not his turn yet, Coach.
Our kids they know what it means to be a Tiger. And those Pop Warner kids, they have big eyes, and they're there to give us five as we run on the field. So it's a special deal, and we tried to build that here in our community.
Coach, I think you've done a great job. I always say Manny Made every Sunday night on our show. I've been there. You've showed me stuff. We've seen stuff. And I just think those young Tigers are waiting on their turn to get there. And, I mean, your numbers show it. When I come by one time, and you're worried about more lockers. I mean, you have 80 to 100 kids out at a 2A school, and I think that's great. And I just love seeing that the outpouring of the base is just unreal.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And that's kind of been our and it's been community buy-in. It's been administration. It's been a lot of people help. A lot of people pick on us about it, mock it, chant it, and we love it. It means something to us. It means our program and the culture these kids have helped create.
Well, you're defending state champions and poised to make another deep run, so they can chant what they want to. They just got to stop you on the football field. So.
Hey, there's a lot of good 2A teams out there this year. We just want to be one of those one of the last teams standing, so we can go down there and defend it again.
There you go, head coach Jess Curtis of the Manny Tigers. Coach, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it, man. Take care.
Thanks. Right. Next 2 weeks, Coach.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care.
Head coach Jess Curtis of the Manny Tigers there, and joining us, and we're certainly glad to have him on there. And again, Chuck, thank you for setting that up. We'll have the other half of that battle. Head coach Andy Boone of the Avoyelles Mustang is going to be joining us in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, we'll have him on there. So we're looking forward to that. Before we do, we want to go into some of the how they fared this week, and we'll go ahead and go through the 5A setup when Chuck gets up on the screen. Catholic of Baton Rouge rolls on. They beat East Ascension in that game to move to 6-0. Zachary takes care of Live Oak 54-21 in that one. Brother Martin goes to 4-0. They beat Rummel. Ponchatoula continues to roll. Ponchatoula climbing up the power rankings as well. If I'm not mistaken, they're number 1 or number 2 in the power rankings. They beat Mandeville 37-21, and anytime you can beat the Skippers of Mandeville, it's a battle. Ash takes the loss, their first one of the season. They lose to West Monroe 28-14. Acadiana looks to move back up. They beat Como in a slugfest in that one.
111 points.
Goodness gracious. I don't think Acadiana's given up that many points in a season at one time. Captain Shreve, they beat Benton 48-35, and that sets up a huge game this Friday night against Natchitoches Central, who looks poised to move up in the rankings, but where do you put them? Ruston, they beat Pineville 41-0 in that one. John Curtis wins. They beat Shaw 37-16, and Destrehan goes to 3-0. They beat Central Lafourche there. West Monroe, now that was their 99th consecutive district win when they beat Ash, and very poised unless they, I'm not putting that on anybody. They'd have to catch the COVID and the band get it and everybody get it because they're playing West Washita, and no slight to West Ouachita, isn't the
Right.
slightest, but it's two different programs that's there, and West Monroe is poised. They got a chip on their shoulder for people telling them they were down this year, and their losses were to Neville and to Catholic of Baton Rouge, and they led that game at halftime.
Those aren't bad losses, and it's like what I joked about earlier. They were like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. I took that personally.
There's no doubt that they were a step quicker and just ready to go, and they brought pressure from, their offense blitzed a couple of times. They blitzed so much in that game. So anyway, moving over to 4A, LaMar, why don't you take us there? And there was a big Saturday game atop those rankings that set that game.
Yeah. Huge Saturday game. We'll talk about this right now. Carr, they won against Warren Easton 20-18. So, that was a really big game there. Neville beat Franklin Parish 42-0. Westgate beat St. Thomas More 41-13.
Let me ask you this, too. Let me jump in there real quick. Does St. Thomas More win another game this year? They lose Walker Howard last year. And I say that not tongue-in-cheekly, but I do. Mm-hmm. But what a blow dealt to that team.
Yeah, that's a tough blow right there. At least the good thing is they all make the playoffs in Division II, so they're going to be safe there. But they are in a brutal district in 5-4A. That, like we said, and that includes Westgate, Karen Crow, Turlings Catholic, schools like that. And so they may win one more. It depends on who else is in there. I think Northside is also in there, so they may win that game.
Right.
But can they scheme and try to get a win against some of those other teams? I just think that's going to be a little bit hard.
There you go. And speaking of Karen Crow, they check in at number 5.
Yeah. Karen Crow, they beat Turlings Catholic 60-13.
And that's not a Turlings Catholic team that's out of the rankings. They were ranked 7th.
Right. Exactly. Northwood Shreveport, they got a win. They got a win last night. I can't remember who was against, but I know they got a win in that one. Once I can find that out, I'll tell you. Turlings Catholic, of course, lost to Karen Crow. St. Thomas More lost to Westgate. Liberty, they beat St. Michael 21-14, and Carver out of New Orleans beat McMain 29-8. So that's kind of like a little bit of payback for that basketball championship last year.
Indeed, it was. You're going to see a shakeup in the 4A bracket along there. 3A, Will.
University kept handling business. They beat Burley 42-6. Madison Prep at 72 on Collegiate of Baton Rouge won that game. Sterlington in a big win here, 28-12 over the Farmers of Union Parish. De La Salle wins again. St. James loses to Lutcher 41-19. We said the Union Parish lost to Sterlington. E.D. White moves to 4-0. They beat Donaldsonville 41-0. Church Point goes to 6-0 after beating Iota 43-6. And down in my area, Iowa moves to 6-0 after beating South Beauregard 49-7.
Iowa looking to move up in the rankings after a couple of losses in front of them.
Yes, I think last year they had a really good shot, and this year they're looking to get back in the hunt. And then LCCP, who's rejoined the rankings at 3-3, beat a 5-0 Westlake team 40-7. And I had a little note on that I wanted to mention. I don't know where I did with it, but Westlake last year lost to LCCP last year, 73-0, and that's my buddy Coach John Richardson at Westlake. And then they said, "Well, how's it feel this year? You lose 40-7. Well, you cut that in half." So the Westlake Rams are on the run, and look for that game next year to be even closer than this.
There you go. Should be 20-3 if you go back and look at it. Down in 2A, Lafayette Christian, they lose to Catholic of Baton Rouge and should not drop out of that top spot for that loss. But there you have Manny sitting there that beat Red River in that game. And that may be last week's because Red River beat Menard. Give me your update from there.
Manny beat Winfield 50-0. Their second shutout.
Mandy's ranked number 1.
Yeah, they're one.
Yes.
Lafayette Christian lost last week. They're 5-1. They bounced back, beat Lake Arthur 49-0. Meet beat Venardo 35-14. Mangum, another team I always talk about, beat Vidalia 42-14. Laurelville moves to 6-0. Beating Catholic New Iberia 41-0. Laurelville's got a beautiful turf field. St. Charles beat Lakeshore 22-0. Notre Dame moves up to 5-1, beating Welch 47-7. General Trask, who you mentioned a couple times, moved to 6-0, beating Delta Charter 62-6. And North Caddo beat Mansfield 64-48. And a team on the door knocking is our Vols Mustangs 6-0, beat Lakeview 56-14. And then the Eagles of Rose Pine beat Kinder 48-22 after that bump in the road at Logansport.
In a world of, can I tell you that I hate the split it's a travesty that you're not going to get an opportunity to see Newman and Manny do battle this year.
I would walk to that game.
That's the game that you want to see. And down in 1A, LaMar, if you'll take us through that.
Yeah, 1A, we have Washita Christian. They beat River Oaks New School up there in Monroe, 55-0. Calvary beat Homer, 45-6. Grand Lake beat Oberlin, 27-20. Homer lost to Calvary, 45-6. Southern Lab beat Faraday, 49-0. So tough one again for the Trojans of Faraday. A little bit of an upset there. Haynesville lost to Glenbrook 42-41. So shout out to David Feaster, who is the new coach up there at Glenbrook, for doing his thing there. Oak Grove beat Delhi 47-14. Christian 25-7, and St. Edmund lost to Opelousas Catholic 42-7.
You got to believe it. And speaking of moving up, we're moving up our abilities here, and you've seen the two guests that we've had tonight. Head coach Robbie Causey of the Leesville Wampus Cats. We've had Coach Jess Curtis of the Manny Tigers, and now we're going to get Coach Andy Boone on. He can go ahead and give us a call in too, so we'll do that. We're going to be back. We're going to take a quick break, Chuck. When we come back, we'll have head coach of the Vols Mustangs and Andy Boone right after this.
The following things are just plain wrong. Pouring coffee into a light socket. Dressing a 300-pound man for your business.
Express Employment Professionals in Alexandria is here to assist you in hiring that right employee or helping you find your perfect career. Apply online at expresspros.com/AlexandriaLA.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Sideways at a Vols Mustang head coach Andy Boone, and Coach, there he is. That's perfect. That's perfect. We appreciate you joining us on the show tonight. Know you guys have a huge game coming up this week, but I want to welcome you to Game on CENLA.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Coach, you guys continue to roll. You moved to 6-0 this week, and one of your biggest tests of the year is coming up on Friday. How's preparation going for that? I know this is just Sunday, but I know you guys have had this circled, and you weren't going to think about it too much until it was the next game, but that week is here.
No, we've been thinking about it for several weeks. We have to. It was the game. We knew it was going to be the game. No offense to anybody else, but, this is, if you want to win state, you got to beat these guys.
Coach.
And we want to win state. Go.
Coach, one of the things that you have been really impressed about this season so far has been the offenses. And you sent me a lot of stats, by the way. You said no passes last night, but your defense is really that's what I meant to talk about. Your defense forcing 13 turnovers and 24 defensive points over the last 4 games.
Yeah, look, it's usually we talk about offense when we talk, but our defense has stepped it up this year. My son is our defensive coordinator, does a hell of a job with those guys. Now, a lot of these kids are going both ways, so it's the same kids and a lot of Ironman football, but they've done a good job getting off the field on 4th down, turnovers, and I don't think we've allowed a point. Maybe one touchdown in the last 4 games in the second half. So the second half, we're putting the hammer down on teams. Our offense is kicking it in, and we're just wearing people out. So, our defense has done a great job.
Coach, we've got Will Norris with us too from that West Central Louisiana side of it. So,
Coach Boone, the only thing I told Roman, I said I've done 100 million games with your Uncle Boomer on the radio. My question to Roman was, who's going to score more points, Uncle Andy or Roman? And so far, I'm taking you.
Oh yeah, we definitely going to score more points than basketball.
Look,
well, I love you, Coach.
Let me ask you this too. Of course, the idea you guys don't onside kicks and don't punt, and you get that going on. Does that change anything in your mind, knowing that given the potential to give Manny the ball in plus territory may spell some bad things for you?
No, look, y'all got to look at it the way I look at it, guys. We're playing a lot of kids both ways. So if you're going to score on us, you're going to score fast. We don't want a 90-yard drive on us. So we're either going to get the ball back, we're either going to stop you, or you're going to have a short field. So you got to look at it in that term, in the way that we look at it. So it's really not. You look at that. Oh, they only got to go 50 yards. We're looking at, hey, our defense only has to be out there for 50 yards. So it's just that we look at football a little bit differently than everybody else. You know, we want to be more physical. Look, the only way we're going to beat Manny is we're going to be tougher than Manny. That is the only way. You know, hey, me and Jess talk all the time. I respect the heck out of Jess. Jess told me this last week, and it stuck with me. Tough guys matter, okay? Tough guys matter. And to play football, you got to be a tough guy. And that's what we preach, toughness. So it's going to be tough on tough.
Well, Coach, I mean, I think one of the guys here that's really stepping up for you guys, the Carrion Sampson. I mean, he has really been doing a lot for you guys, running the football, receiving the football. He's really been stepping up here with the absence of Carlos, because I know he's been hurt the last couple of weeks, but he's been really stepping up.
Yeah, look, I mean, kid last year as a freshman did a good job for us. I mean, look, if we had a better coach, we'd actually give him more touches. You know, he's only touching the ball about 12 times a game, you know. And he's averaging, every time he touches the ball, he gets 12, 13, 14 yards. Every fifth time he touches the ball, he scores a touchdown. Think about that, guys. Every fifth time he scores a touchdown. So how dumb is I? How dumb am I not giving him the ball?
Sounds like
right?
he needs to have it about 30 times.
Too, so. Well, look, he's a special kid. Carlos should be back. We should be at full strength. We got another big tailback, another 220-pound tailback, the best right. And we're going to need all this size this week, all that toughness to run at these guys, run around them, run over them. I mean, that's our plan. We're not shy about what we're going to have to do to beat them. You know, we're going to.
Coach, we talked to Coach Curtis just a little earlier.
Not to run over, yeah.
Right. We talked to Coach Curtis a little bit earlier, and it's the tradition, and it's that kids are growing up wanting to play for Manny. Kids are growing up now wanting to play for Vols, and they're buying into that toughness and that style that you have. That culture has really got to be important to you guys over there in the Vols.
Well, you know, we respect Manny. I tell him all the time, they set the standard. You know, in 2A, but they are the team everybody, you know, wants to emulate. What I try to do in the Vols is I try to make them like me. You know, look, I'm not going to back down from that. I'm a tough guy. I'm going to make them. I want them to mimic me. You know, we're going to play football a certain way. And, yeah, look, we got a lot of young kids that want to play football for us. So it's fun. To me, it's the way football should be played. You know, toughness, you know, hitting, tackling, blocking. I know the spread, everybody falls in love with that stuff. I love playing spread team, guys. Spread teams hate playing us, all right? They hate it.
Well, Coach, my thing is just the toughness. I've watched your boys, some of them grow up and stuff, and you know, doing all those games all those years. B1 looked forward to Friday nights to coming down there in PA and for you guys. And all he would ever tell me, one time y'all had a great game against Lakeview or somebody that I can't remember, it was 60-61 or something. B1 told me, he said, man, you've never seen tougher kids play in a 60-point game, but he said these kids are playing both sides. He said Andy just drills in their head, you got to be tougher than the man across from you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I grew up that way. I saw a dad who worked 2 or 3 jobs, was always hurt, playing, working sick, and I just, you know, that's how I'm going to be. You know, you show up, go to work every day, no matter if you feel like it or not. It's the same thing playing football. You don't always feel like it. It's not always fun. But I tell you what, it's fun to end the night when you know you've been tougher, you've been more physical, and you know, look, our guys, we're trying to make the other team put their heads down and quit. Is that going to happen this Friday night? No, there's no way man can quit on us. But we can be tougher than them. We can out-physical them, and that is our goal this week.
Well, we're looking forward to an exciting game, Coach. We certainly want to thank you for taking time out of your night to join us here on the show, and we look forward to talking to you in the upcoming weeks as well.
All right, man. Hey, smash mouth Mustang football. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
There you go, head coach
Thank
Andy
Coach.
Boone. And you know that the kids would run through a wall for head coach Andy Boone. And that's just really what it is that you want to see. And my goodness, the thought of getting down there to that game is going to be a great one. And you said you're not going to go to that? Is that what you said, Will?
I said I'm probably going to Leesville to Ritter. since I bought and paid for 100 shirts to throw out, I'm probably going to go there for that and then maybe make my way there. But LaMar better get there about 2 maybe before school gets out. If not, he's going to have to park somewhere around Southern Classic and walk.
Probably at Natchitoches.
He said they start tailgating around 8 a.m.
Oh, yes, sir.
So
you go by on game day. You can go eat a buffet and go by on game day, and you leave hungry because when you pull up at school, there's smoke everywhere, and you smell everything everybody's cooking.
Goodness gracious. And that's what Friday night football is about. And man, you're getting closer there. LaMar, I know you said after the first half of the year you start looking into the power ratings and things like that. What are some things that you see?
I mean, right now, as far as like seeing who probably is going to get in there, you see some teams starting to move up because of the district play that they're playing, but you also see some teams moving down because of the districts they're also playing. So it's just been so much of a different thing. I think right now I saw, for example, Natchitoches Central, they were hanging in there. They were at 2 earlier last week. Now I think they dropped down to 8 because they win against their win against Southwood.
They win and they drop down, and it's a district game.
Right, district game, but
you gotta play it.
But you got to play it,
That's
and
right.
it's because even though Southwood is winless right now, they only get 10 points. But the problem is, from where they were at the high point, that kind of really sinks them down a little bit.
Right, that's right. But they'll pick up some. That big Captain Shreve game coming up Friday night will go a long way in changing the rankings as well in that division. We had a question earlier in the year with Acadiana's loss. Did it open up Ash as a favorite? There is no favorite in 5A in the non-select at all.
And we see Ruston steadily climbing as well.
Yeah, Ruston's right now, they're at 7. So right now they would be in a point where they could possibly get themselves multiple home playoff games. So that's a big thing, barring any upsets.
And what a great environment up there in Ruston.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And looking at the rest of 5A, I mean, Ash is right now sitting at 20, but they still got some big-time games coming up next. Pineville is on the outside looking in at 35, but if they can win some extra games coming up, then they can possibly put themselves in the playoffs. So.
Well, indeed.
Well, that's what's going to kill Rosepine. Next week they go to play a winless Pickering team, so regardless if you win or not, that hurts Rosepine. But I failed to mention a while ago, I got a text about the record. Leesville and DeRidder is all-time record. DeRidder has won 56, Leesville 39, and 4 ties. The last meeting was in 2019. DeRidder snuck them and got them 24-21 at DeRidder. Last year they did not play because of the COVID. So this is their 100th meeting. And like I was just saying, we got them a 100-year shirt made. It was pretty cool. I'm going to give each sideline cheerleaders a bunch of those shirts to throw out on Friday night. So that's something really cool for these kids to commemorate this night. And then, we'll give the coaches one as well.
And so breaking on the show, Coach Causey plans to retire before the 150th matchup.
Yes.
So that's,
he said he's going to full-time pop-off.
He turned in his 50-year notice.
I got the story up right now.
LaMar needs to tweet it.
tonight on the show. Yeah. Look, you tweet that. Robbie Causey announces his retirement. and not finish off with the rest of the joke that we had on there. But, look, I want to thank Coach Robbie Causey for coming on, our first ever guest, Coach Jess Curtis. And all of them were around the field somewhere on a Sunday night. Nobody was kicked back doing nothing.
Yeah.
They were all
in the field houses,
lifting, watching film, doing their thing, and so just so pleased that they took the opportunity to join us. Chuck Perkins, our executive producer, and Tioga the leader for those guys and brought out a lot of the swag. So we've got that. And okay, Chuck, I will one more time. I'm sorry, I have to put that one more time back for Chuck and all the Tioga fans. As Tioga takes care of Peabody on Friday night. Tioga coming up in a big one. And look, you give the guy a little bit of camera time, and look what
He's
happens.
Still chopping, baby.
He's still chopping, so I'm going to get out of that. No, great matchup there. Tioga will play
Bolton. That will also be another Thursday game at the reservation.
So looking forward to a big one there. Ash Pineville Thursday night. So that game is out at Ash. It changes. The coaches shows up a little bit. So we'll have the Tioga coaches show from 6 to 7 in Buckets. The Ash coaches show moves from Thursday to Tuesday. It'll be here from walk-ons from 7 to 8. And then the two are on Wednesday night, the Justin Charles Eagles Nest show there. And I thought they were going to win that game against Red River.
Yeah,
they were hanging around there most of the night.
Exactly. They were hanging around there in that one, but now they got to go up to Winfield, the Winfield team that's now also in a 3-game losing streak. So it's pretty much of a battle of who wants it more.
Indeed, and we'd like to see Coach Charles and those Minority Eagles get back on the right track there. And then Peabody faces, who does Peabody got?
Peabody will host Bro Bridge. A little bit of a non-district play there.
All right, that's their week to be out of district. So we know that in those odd-numbered districts on there. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Chuck, thank you for all that you do getting this up and going, getting our Zoom calls up and going. LaMar and the Town Talk and all the work that you do. Will Norris and BWS Sports. If you've not liked or followed this page, make sure that you go out there and do that. It's the first time you've joined us on 446 Sports. Give us a like. If you followed us on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Leave us a comment of another coach that you'd like to talk to, or maybe you want the Zoom link and you know what a little bit more than we do about it, and that's not difficult to do. Leave us a comment about that and hit the notification button. That's where you know that we'll go live. That's going to wrap it up for Game on CENLA tonight. Guys, it's been a beautiful night. Had the window open tonight out here. We actually did the coaches show last week from outside even, so that was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's really nice night tonight.
We're going to we'll have our Zoom worked into it a little bit more next week, so we'll have some other interviews. Going to look to get some players on the show next week too. So thank everybody for joining in, and all of those that watch us later.